Welcome back everyone. Today it's time for some upgrades on the Jeep Camper. So this has been by far and away the best adventure vehicle I've ever had, and it took us all the way from Iceland down through Europe and into Tunisia in North Africa. The dunes of the Sahara blew my mind, and I owe you guys a lot more adventure videos, and they are coming, I promise, as well as a big recap on how the vehicle did, what I learned, what I loved, and what I'll do differently next time. But before we get into all of that, let's go for 3 key upgrades that I think are going to make this vehicle even closer to perfect. Upgrade number 1 is the big lithium battery. This thing has been perfect, and I don't want to change anything about it other than where it's mounted. And so thanks to some new technology from Renogy, I can get the weight lower and I can free up all of this space in our cabinet so we have more room for storage. Upgrade number 2 is something I should have done from the very beginning, but I just ran out of time. So I'm sitting here in the driver's seat, and obviously I have a pretty good view out the front. My extended towing mirrors give me a good view down the side, but here's the view in my rear view mirror. I can see literally nothing behind me in this rear view mirror. This is something we need to fix. And upgrade number 3, here I am in the driver's seat again, and this thing has been murder on my back. So I just drove the Jeep across country after I got it out of the container, and doing 12 hours a day for 7 days in a row destroyed my back worse than it's ever been in my whole life. These are the Rubicon leather seats that are really comfortable, but there's something about them that just kills my back if I drive for too many hours a day. I've got to fix that. I want to be able to drive this thing. So enough with the intro, let's get stuck into it. I need to remove the original 200 amp hour lithium, disconnect all of the wires and my hold down straps, and get it out of here to free up a bunch of space in the cabinet. So here's the old battery that I just took out, 200 amp hours. This thing has been incredible, but it takes up a bunch of cabinet space. So what am I replacing it with? This is the latest and greatest from Renogy. This is their super slim solid state battery. So you can see this thing is about 2.5 inches thin. It is really thin, which means I can mount it down under the floor of the Jeep and get it down where the passenger footwell area used to be, which is where I always wanted the batteries to go. And so this one that I've got in my hand here, this is 100 amp hours or 104 amp hours. You might be wondering, that's only half as big as this guy. Well, conveniently, Renogy include a bus bar kit so that you can just bridge these things together. And so with 2 of them, I'll have 200 amp hours, no problem. You can actually join up to 16 of these things together for more than 1,600 amp hours. And you can do that in either 12, 24 or 48 volt configurations, depending on what your setup needs. For me, I'm sticking with 12 volts because that's how I designed it. But yeah, this is super versatile. And these batteries, this uses an entirely new chemistry, actually EV grade cells. So these things are unbelievably vibration resistant. They can be charged down to lower temperatures than even this guy can. These are much more modern, much more advanced cells in this battery. So I'm excited to put this thing to the test and see how it goes. Let's get on with the install. So when you stick 2 of them together, you not only get the bus bars, but you also get these brackets on the side to give it lots of strength and give you some options to mount it however you need to in your vehicle. I need as much room to work as I can get, so it's out with the front passenger seat. This is becoming a bit of a bad habit. And for anyone who can't remember, this is the current setup with the 3000 watt Renogy inverter bolted to the floor. Worked really well, but it's time to get that out of there so we can put the big heavy batteries down that low and free up all that cabinet space. And now sliding the new batteries in for the first time, it's almost like they were designed to fit, and this is exactly what I wanted from the beginning. This is absolutely ideal. I'm really happy to get that weight down low. And so here's the finished product. You can see where the inverter has wound up there on that back wall, and it's really nice. It's in behind this recess from the cabinets. So although it takes up a little bit of cabinet space, we have a lot more than we used to with the battery there. And then the battery down here, getting it down so low is really nice. I made up a nice big aluminum bracket on that side to hold it down. And you can see the battery comes supplied with these covers to help cover up the terminals. So that should be nice and safe and sound down there. And then, of course, all the wiring just comes back up to my original old fuse block, the DC to DC charger. And one of the great things about the Renogy Core 1 is that that percentage that it's showing me right now, that's the percentage of the two batteries combined. So you can go in and look at each battery separately and check out the voltage of every cell and the temperature and all that kind of stuff. But when you're just doing your high-level overview, you just get the percentage of the overall system. And it does exactly the same thing when you're on the app on your phone too. So pretty handy little way to just monitor and see how the batteries are doing. Overall though, super happy with how this has turned out. So moving on to the next upgrade of the Jeep, I'm tackling the rear visibility in the rear view mirror. So what I have here is a digital rear view mirror from Wolfbox, and they have a whole bunch of different models that have different feature sets. And so the one I have here, it's got a 4K screen, which should be really nice. And essentially you mount a backup camera at the back of the vehicle, run your cabling to the front. It's got a USB-C connector. You plug it into the mirror, and then to power it, if you're not up to a wiring task, you can just go cigarette lighter, USB-C straight into the mirror, and that's it. The mirror will work just like that. If you're a little more advanced, you can tackle your own wiring. It's actually really simple. This is just a voltage converter, and on this end, you just need a 12 volt with the ignition and a ground. It does also have the option that it can always be recording if you give it power all of the time. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to be recording like that all of the time. And then so yeah, that's it. Digital rear view mirror. This thing clips over my existing mirror, so it should fit any vehicle. It does have a forward facing camera that'll be looking out the front windscreen, and it comes with an SD card, which is really nice, and it'll be recording whenever I'm driving. And it does that thing, you can set it to how many minutes it records before it then just overwrites what it was already recording. You know, if something happens like there's a crash, obviously you then have that footage. So forward facing camera is really nice. It has a GPS and an antenna, so it can overlay GPS data. It has a reversing mode, so when you put the vehicle in reverse, if you connect it up to your reverse lights, it knows that, and the camera can automatically put reversing lines on the screen and stuff like that. If you don't have a backup camera, I do have one, so I don't really need that mode. If you get a different model, you can have a forward camera, so you can put a camera like down on your front bumper. You know, that's become really popular now for off-roading. This Jeep actually has one already, so I decided not to get that model. And then it just has a whole bunch of different features. It actually has Wi-Fi. You can get an app on your phone to like download all the footage. It has voice control. I don't even know all the features it has. There's a lot, but for me, it's all about rear visibility. So I've already started running the wiring for the camera, and I'm getting into the power. It should be really straightforward, and I should have this thing up and running in like half an hour. Come with me, I'll show you the rear camera now. So I've decided to mount the rear camera on top of this box here that houses the original Jeep reversing camera. And you can see it's a little weatherproof camera, and I was able to use the same hole through the cab that the wiring used for that camera, so that kept it really simple. I think it's really discreet here, it's out of the way. On the inside, it's just a matter of attaching the rear view mirror and running the wiring. Because my Jeep has aux switches down in the passenger footwell, I have access to switch 12 volts, super easy. Taking a look at the rear view mirror, this is what it sees, and you can see I've got it in rear view camera mode. The thing has so many modes, it's kind of insane. That button there, now I'm getting the forward view, so this is what the front facing camera there is recording. So it's doing that loop recording thing. I set it to 3 minutes, and then if I hit it again, I get front on one side and rear on the other side. Personally, I'm never going to use that mode. I don't understand why you would want it. I just want to have a rear view mirror. And you can have voice control turned on, you can have Wi-Fi, I can change the brightness, I can do all kinds of things like that. And you can see right now, it is actually recording. So it's recording whatever the front camera is seeing, and it's on a 3 minute loop of it'll write over itself, you know, if there's no reason to keep that footage. So the rear view camera is big, it's really bright, and it gives me a really good view of everything behind me. It's actually going to take some getting used to because I've been driving for so long without a rear view mirror. Of course, when driving, it behaves exactly like you'd think it would. I have a functioning rear view mirror and I'm recording out the front camera at the same time. That is a win-win. I'm really happy with this. So that is the Wolfbox reversing and front camera rear view mirror. You can see it does exactly what it's supposed to do. The screen is big, it's clear, it's recording as a front camera, it's showing me my rear view. I have to recommend it. I have to say, I think it's good. Installation was really straightforward and it just works as it's supposed to do. So if you want to get one of these, if you need a Rearview camera for your vehicle, again, there's a link in the description. Check it out. Wolfbox make a ton of different versions. Like I said, you can get one with a front camera, you can get one, I don't even know what they have these days, but this one's a 4K and a 2.5K screen and camera. So see what different models are out there, see what you need, for your particular setup. And I should mention too, with the wiring harness, you can get an extra long one if you have a really long vehicle. So your Rearview camera can be, even further back than mine is if you have a really long pickup truck or something. So the third upgrade that I'm tackling today is to make this driver's seat more comfortable and stop it from destroying my back. And so after doing a ton of reading around all the various Jeep forums, what a lot of people say is that for people over about 6 feet tall, the problem is that the front of the seat is too low and it isn't supporting the bottom of my thighs here. There's a gap. And so what happens is on a really, really long drive, the weight of your feet and your legs and everything is pulling down and it's pulling on your lower back. And so everyone says, a 5-hour drive, a 10-hour drive, maybe you'll be okay, but you keep doing that day after day after day, and eventually your back's going to complain about it. So what's the fix to this? Well, there's a company called Desert Does It, and they make these products called seat jackers. And these things are spacers that go under the 2 front mounting bolts of the seat here at the front. And so what that does is it tilts the whole base of the seat, effectively lifting this front edge by 1.5 inches. And reading around the forums, people swear by these things and say that it makes a significant difference because then your thighs are supported by the seat and you won't have this problem anymore. So here we go, let's install some seat jackers and put them to the test and see if they actually make a difference. So these things come with really good instructions and they're pretty straightforward to install. The instructions officially say you only need to take out the 2 front mounting bolts on the driver's seat, but I found it hard to get the seat into position, so I actually took out the back ones as well, and that allowed me to do this with the seat where I could really move it out of the way to give me great access to get these seat jackers in. So you put the seat jacker down, the kit comes with thread locker, put it on the supplied bolts, and then bolt the seat jackers down into the floor of the Jeep. Not surprisingly, it's exactly the same process on the other side. Make sure you do these bolts up to 35 foot-pounds, and then you just line the seat back up with those new threaded holes, thread locker those supplied bolts, and do those up to 35 foot-pounds. That's all there is to it. Of course, I had to do up my rear seat bolts as well, but it's as simple as that. It literally took me 10 minutes. So as soon as you sit in the driver's seat, you can feel the difference. The bottom of the seat now at the front is pushing up against my thighs, which it definitely never used to do. And I feel like my feet aren't just kind of dangling anymore. I feel like there's actually some support there. And I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit skeptical about these things. And of course, the $1 million question is, does it actually make a difference on a long drive? Well, I have a bit of a confession to make. I actually installed these things about 2 weeks ago, and then I drove down to Montana to the event at the Overland ranch, the big thing. And so that was a 9-hour drive each way. And on both drives, I did a couple of 4-hour stints, which is about as much as I ever do in my whole life. And that was basically what set my back off when I drove across country. And amazingly, I would get out of the Jeep after 4 hours and I wouldn't even put my hand on my back. I wouldn't even do that kind of old man stretch thing. I wouldn't go like, oh, I need to get out and have a rest. I would just get out of the Jeep and be 100% fine. So all weekend, my back didn't even notice that I'd driven 9 hours, and then the 9 hours back in a single day, it also didn't even notice. So do the seat jackers make a difference? I'm gonna say absolutely yes. For anyone over 6 feet tall, if the seats in your Jeep have ever given you grief, definitely get a set of seat jackers. And there's a link in the description if you wanna grab a set for yourself. I think they're fantastic, and they're pretty complicated little pieces of kit with some threaded holes, with some really complicated angles and machine parts. I think you'd have a hard time trying to make your own. But yeah, seat jackers, I was a skeptic, now I'm a convert. So yeah, That's it, 3 upgrades to the Jeep. The battery's relocated, so we have more storage space. This is really handy. I just glanced at the mirror to make sure no one's behind me. Super handy. So batteries upgraded, really great to monitor them with Bluetooth. Those things are just gonna be better. The weight's down lower, more cabinet space. I fixed this front seat so it no longer destroys my back, which I'm really happy about. And I have a rear view mirror that functions exactly like it should. Dare I say, it's better than the factory one ever was, because it can be so bright, because it can work so well at night. And I've got a forward camera recording in case of crashes or anything else like that. So win all around. That's 3 upgrades that I probably should have done those when I very first built this Jeep, but I ran out of time, so I'm really happy I've got them done now. If you have any questions about any of them, let me know. I'm always happy to help out. I'm always happy to just give honest feedback about what I think about the things I'm doing, what I've learned along the way. And hopefully you can find this stuff handy for your own vehicle, and just maybe I'll bump into you on the road.